Have you ever had one of those days where you literally haven't moved off the couch? You just lounged around the house all day, yet somehow you feel completely and utterly exhausted, like you just ran a full-blown marathon, but you haven't even moved a muscle. Well, welcome back to Mastery of English, and to today's explainer, where we are going to unravel that exact mystery. We're diving deep into the most fascinating, bizarre, and perpetually active object in the known universe, your brain. We're going to figure out exactly why your brain never truly rests and why that hidden, nonstop activity dictates pretty much everything about how you feel. All right, here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by shattering the illusion of rest, pick up some essential brain vocabulary along the way, and then explore your 24/7 biological supercomputer. After that, we'll uncover the secret life of sleep, figure out what's really behind your mental exhaustion, and finally, go over some actual, practical ways to optimize your brain health. So let's kick things off with what I call the illusion of rest. Because honestly, doing absolutely nothing, it's a total myth when it comes to the human body. There's this huge misconception we all buy into, right? We think that when we're physically inactive, our systems are just off. But even while you're sleeping peacefully or daydreaming or just staring blankly at a wall for 5 straight minutes, your brain absolutely refuses to shut down. Right this second, inside your skull, billions of nerve cells are communicating faster than lightning. They're transmitting signals at speeds that are just incomprehensible. So you might look like you're completely relaxed and inactive, but trust me, your brain is insanely busy. Moving on to some essential brain vocabulary, because to really crack the code on our never-resting minds, we need the right biological tools and the exact English terms to talk about them. First step is neuron. Basically, this is a specialized nerve cell that transmits information in the brain using electrical and chemical signals. These are the absolute fundamental building blocks of our biological supercomputer. So in a sentence, you could say, neurons communicate using electrical signals. Literally every single thought you have, that's just these tiny cells firing away. Next, we need to talk about the difference between your conscious and subconscious states. Being conscious means you are fully awake and aware of your surroundings, just like you are right now, tuning into this explainer. You're fully conscious of the sound of my voice. But your subconscious, that's the part of your mind working without full conscious awareness, quietly influencing your daily choices and behaviors. It's always running in the background, making sure the lights stay on in your body, even when you're totally zoned out. Which brings us to mental fatigue. This is the extreme tiredness of the brain caused by intense thinking or processing. And this connects right back to the core mystery we talked about earlier. That intense, heavy exhaustion you feel sometimes, it isn't from physical labor. It is from your brain working massive overtime to process information. So too much studying or even too much worrying directly causes mental fatigue. And our final term to lock in is cognition. This is simply the process of thinking, learning, and remembering information. For instance, regular exercise actually improves cognition and mental clarity. Your brain is constantly organizing data to maintain this function minute by minute, day after day. Let's get into your 24/7 biological supercomputer and look at the sheer, mind-blowing scale of this permanent operation. Your brain is permanently online. It never, ever completely turns off. Even when you are completely checked out, your brain is simultaneously controlling your breathing patterns, managing your heartbeat, organizing memories from your day, processing really complex emotions, and constantly monitoring your environment for danger. It's literally acting like a sophisticated control center running a massive bustling city 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without taking a single coffee break. And to truly grasp how wild this is, just think about this staggering number: 86 billion. The human brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons. Every single one of those billions of cells is constantly sending electrical messages through this vast, tangled network. Some of these signals travel faster than a race car accelerating down a highway. Every thought, every memory, every physical move you make depends completely on this enormous electrical grid. Now, let's shift gears and explore the secret life of sleep, which is that chunk of time where we supposedly just power down. Think about this for a second. What exactly happens during sleep? Most of us incorrectly assume that sleep means the brain just enters a state of rest or reduced activity. Like putting a laptop into sleep mode. But actually, that belief is entirely inaccurate. During sleep, your brain goes into absolute overdrive. It's working incredibly hard behind the scenes, executing all these vital operations. It's consolidating and storing memories, taking those short-term impressions and locking them into long-term storage. It's physically removing toxic waste chemicals, literally clearing out metabolic trash from your neural tissue. It repairs cellular damage, creates dreams to process emotions, and organizes all the information you took in during the day. So while your physical body looks perfectly peaceful in bed, your brain is pulling a massive night shift. In fact, sleep might literally be when your brain is working the hardest. Which brings us to understanding mental exhaustion, finally answering that central paradox we started with today. Why on earth do you feel so completely drained when you've just been sitting still? Well, it's because your brain has been processing an insane amount of information for extended periods, and that depletes its finite energy resources. Everyday stuff can completely overload this electrical network. I'm talking about constant doom scrolling on your phone, extended studying, persistent stress, sensory overstimulation from bright screens and loud noises, and of course, a lack of sleep. You feel exhausted without physical activity because your brain, not your muscles, burned through all your energy. Let's talk about optimizing your brain health. Because if your brain is taking care of you every single second of your life, returning the favor changes absolutely everything. Here is one of the simplest but most overlooked facts about our biology. Your brain is roughly 73% water. That's a massive chunk. Staying well hydrated isn't just some passing health trend, it is absolutely vital for your cognition. Even mild dehydration can significantly mess with your brain's ability to transmit those lightning-fast electrical signals we talked about. Beyond just drinking enough water, here is your brain maintenance checklist. You need to aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. Remember, that's when the crucial cleanup crew comes in. Eat nutritious foods packed with omega-3s and antioxidants. Actively reduce your screen time to give your mind a break from the constant digital barrage. Exercise regularly to boost that mental clarity. And proactively manage your stress with mindfulness or whatever relaxation technique works for you. All right, now I want you to actively engage your own neurons for a second. Let's cement this core concept. I actually want you to say this out loud with me. Ready? Mental fatigue results from prolonged cognitive engagement with adequate rest. Actually saying it out loud forces your brain to build stronger neural pathways right this second. Awesome. Let's lock in one more crucial takeaway. Repeat after me. Sleep is indispensable for brain health and cognitive restoration. By actively practicing this sentence, you are forcing your supercomputer to organize and store this exact English vocabulary. Your brain is never silent, even in complete darkness, even during the most vivid, crazy dreams. Even when the world around you becomes completely still, your mind continues working like a hidden universe of electricity and thought. And honestly, maybe that's what makes the human brain so truly incredible. It rests just enough to allow you to survive and recover, but does it ever rest enough to stop making you human? Your consciousness, your identity, your entire inner world exists precisely because this magnificent organ never takes a vacation. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. If you enjoyed exploring the extraordinary universe inside the human body and leveling up your English today, make sure to subscribe to Mastery of English. Keep learning, keep those neurons firing, and I will see you in the next explainer.